Now let us move to the next protocol, that is ARP, RARP and BOOTP. This session will cover the ARP in detail and the forthcoming sessions will cover RARP and BOOTP. ARP stands for Address Resolution Protocol and RARP stands for Reverse Address Resolution Protocol. And ARP is used to map logical address to physical address. That means if we know the logical address, IP address of a machine, and if we want to collect the corresponding MAC address, we can use this ARP protocol. And the reverse happens in the case of Reverse Address Resolution Protocol. That is, we know the MAC address of a machine and we want to get the corresponding IP address. In that case, we can use this RARP. Now coming to the details of this ARP operation, different scenarios led to the requirement of ARP. Just for example, suppose the sender machine and the destination machine both are in the same LAN. Okay. In the case of local area network, the communication is only using this MAC address, right? Yeah, in that level, never this IP address can be understood by the different machines. So we should know the MAC address, right? And suppose the sender machine knows the name of the corresponding destination machine. That is, the URL of the corresponding destination machine is known to the sender machine. So that URL is definitely converted into corresponding IP address by this domain name systems, right? That means the sender is now having the IP address of the destination. But for communication within the LAN, we should know the corresponding MAC address, then only the communication is possible. So how to get the corresponding MAC address for that destination? Here we can use this ARP protocol. Different other cases are also there. We can see it later. So this ARP operations as follows: to find the physical address of another host or router on its network. For this, it will send an ARP request message containing the following address field. And this ARP request message is having a physical address of the sender will be mentioned there. IP address of the sender also will be mentioned. And then we should know the physical address of the receiver, right? We don't know now. So it will be filled with zeros. And the IP address is known. So this IP address also will be there in the ARP request message. And we should know to which machine we have to send this request, right? And this ARP request message is broadcast by the physical layer. This, for example, in Ethernet, MAC headers destination address in all ones. Okay, if the destination address of the corresponding data frame carries all ones, that means this frame will be received by all the machines within the local area network. And the intended recipient send back an ARP replay message. Everyone will receive and they will check whether the corresponding IP address belongs to its own IP address. If no, the corresponding frame will be rejected, and only the actual destination whose IP address is there in this ARP request will respond with the corresponding MAC address. And the reply is actually unique as, right? Because the receiver knows the corresponding sender's MAC address. It is already there in the ARP request message. So by using that, it can just send the corresponding reply back to the sender alone. Now you can see here system A who wants to find the MAC address of system B. Okay, it knows that the IP address of that particular system is this much, and it will broadcast a message. I know the IP address of one machine. I want to get the corresponding MAC address, and that will be broadcasted. It will be received by all the machines in the LAN, and upon receiving this, by checking the corresponding IP address, the machine with that IP address will respond back. Here this machine only will reply back. Others will just reject the frame. Okay, the reply contains the corresponding MAC address of this machine. Now the packet format for ARP. The first field is a hardware type, then second protocol type, then hardware length, protocol length, then type of operation, either request or reply. The sender hardware address, sender's protocol address, that is MAC address here, then IP address here. Target hardware address we don't know. So in the case of request message, this will be filled with 0, and target protocol address, that is target destination machine's IP address. Coming to each field, first one is hardware type, right? It specifies the underlying type of the network. What type of physical network is, whether it is Ethernet or token ring or like that. It will specify the hardware type. So it's actually 16-bit wide. And ARP can be used for any network. That is why the corresponding hardware type should be specified. Then the protocol type. Okay, that's also a 16-bit field defined in the protocol, which network layer protocol we are using, IP version 4 or IP version 6. So IP version 4 is indicated using this value. Like that, every version of protocol or every type of protocol, the corresponding protocol number will be filled there. So length of the hardware address. Okay, so in case of Ethernet, that will be 6 because it represents in units of bytes how many bytes will be required. In case of Ethernet, it will be 6. And the next is protocol length. That also in bytes how many bytes will be required as the length of this corresponding IP address or any network address. So here in case of IP address, that is 4, right? With the 32-bit addresses we are using, so 4 will be the value. Then next is operation to specify whether this is an ARP request message or reply message. 1 indicates ARP request message and the value 2 indicates ARP reply message. Then we have the sender's hardware address. Okay, variable length field defining the physical address of the sender, and the sender protocol address means the IP address or logical address of the sender. Then the target hardware address. So this is the MAC address or the physical address of the destination machine. So in case of an ARP request, it will be filled with 0, right? Because we don't know the corresponding MAC address and we are inquiring for that. And the target protocol address, the IP address or the logical address of the destination machine. So this is how a particular ARP packet will be constructed. And this ARP packet is actually constructed by this network layer, right? And that will be handed over to the corresponding data link layer where a frame is constructed using this packet as the data part. So type here indicates that this is an ARP packet. All other information like destination address, source address, preamble, everything will be there in the frame as we have already seen. In a brief manner, the sender knows the target's IP address. It wants to know the corresponding MAC address, right? So IP in the sender machine asks the ARP in the sender machine network layer to create an ARP request message which is carrying this information. The sender's physical address will be there, IP address will be there, and the target's physical address is not known. It will be filled with zeros and target IP address will be there. This much information will be carried over in the ARP request message. Such an IP packet will be transferred to this data link layer, and data link layer will encapsulate the corresponding packet into a data link layer frame, and the physical destination address is a broadcast address. So in this case, the destination address here you can see in the data link frame, this is actually MAC address of the destination. We don't know it, right? So this frame is actually broadcasted, right? So the destination address or destination MAC address field will be filled with all ones to indicate that it should be broadcasted. Now every host or router receives a frame, and since the destination address is broadcast passed to the ARP, every machine will receive this frame and it will be passed over to the ARP protocol, and all machines ARP except the one targeted drop the packet. Upon checking the corresponding destination address field in this ARP request message, it is the only one whose IP address matching will respond. Others will just discard the corresponding ARP request. The target reply with an ARP reply message that contains its physical address and it is unicast. The sender receives the reply message and knows the target's physical address. So this is how it proceeds. Different scenarios to use this ARP. Case 1 is the sender is a host machine and wants to send a packet to another host on the same network. So in such case, in a local network, definitely this communication is only through this MAC address, right? It doesn't know the corresponding IP address. So definitely this ARP should be used to find the physical address of any other host. And second one is the sender is a host and wants to send a packet to another host on another network. In that case, we should know the corresponding IP address for actual communication, right? But from this local network, it should be routed to the router which connects to the external world. Then only this message can be transferred to the another network, right? Yeah, that means that we should know the corresponding MAC address of the router, local router. Yeah, for that also we have to use this ARP. So you can see here the sender is a host and the receiver is also another host in the same LAN. In that case, we have to find the MAC address of this machine using this ARP. And the second one, the sender is in one LAN and the receiver is in some other LAN. In that case, we have to pass this message only through this router, right? So within this network, the communication is using MAC address. That means we have to know the corresponding MAC address of this router. For this, the ARP can be used. And the case 3 is the sender is a router and received a datagram destined for a host on another network. In that case, router checks its routing table and find the IP address of the next router. Okay, so within the same network, to which router should be forwarded. Okay, obviously the router which connects to the external network, right? Yeah, such a network's IP address is found out using the routing table. Now how to find the corresponding ARP? Then only that can be forwarded within this network, right? Yeah, there we can use this ARP. And the case 4 is the sender is a router that has received a datagram destined for a host in the same network. In that case, definitely we need the host's physical address, right? Then only this router can forward the corresponding data frame. So sender is a router and the destination is in some other network, and that message should be passed over through this router to get to the destination. So we should know the corresponding MAC address of this. And the fourth case, sender is a router and the destination is in the same network. Then also we have to find the MAC address of this host. So ARP request is broadcast and ARP reply is unicast. Now let us see an example for this ARP packet. Okay, let us say a host machine. Let us call it as a sender machine whose IP address is this much and MAC address is this one. Another machine, let us call it as a destination machine whose IP address is this. It is known to the sender and the MAC address is actually this value. It is not known to this sender machine. So sender will use an ARP packet. So the two hosts are on the same network, Ethernet. Okay, show the ARP request and reply packets encapsulated in Ethernet frames. This is our sender machine. IP address is this, MAC address is this one. This is our receiver machine. This is IP address, and this should be collected by the sender. Okay, so sender will construct a corresponding ARP request message, and the request message will be constructed in the IP layer, right, network layer, and will be handed over to the data link layer to construct this frame. So this is the corresponding ARP packet. Okay, here we have the first is hardware type. So suppose the type number for Ethernet is 1, it will be given here. Then the protocol type number for IP version 4 is actually 0800 in hexadecimal, and that is given here. Next two field, the hardware length and protocol length, right? Hardware length is actually 6 bytes, so 6 will be here, and protocol length is 4 bytes, 32-bit address, right? Network address, so 4 is given here. Next is the type of this packet. This is an ARP request packet, so 1 will be given here. Then the MAC address of the sender machine, then the IP address in binary or hexadecimal here, IP address of the sender machine. Then the MAC address of the receiver is not known, so it's filled with 0, and then the IP address of the receiver machine. And this entire packet is encapsulated within the data frame with trailer CRC is there, and then the type code for this ARP request message, then the sender's MAC address and destination's MAC address. Sender's MAC address will be the MAC address of this machine itself, and the receiver, we don't know who is the actual receiver, right? MAC address is not known, so it will be broadcasted for every machine. So this full one will be filled here, then the preamble field. So this is the data frame for this ARP packet. And upon receiving this ARP request packet, the intended recipient will respond back with the ARP reply packet, right? So this is the ARP reply packet. These fields are the same as that of request packet. The difference is here, that is request. Instead of request, here is the reply. The value will be 2. Then this is the actual value we are requesting for, right? Yeah, the MAC address of this machine. So MAC address of the sender now, then IP address of the sender, then MAC address of the recipient, IP address of the recipient. Everything else is same. Here the position of these MAC addresses of sender and receiver will be interchanged. So this is all about ARP. In the next session we will see RARP in detail. Thank you.